Chosen one. Why does it feel like everyone else has someone except you? Why does the silence in your home scream louder than any voice ever could? Why, at 3 a.m., when sleep won't come and the darkness presses in, does it feel like you're the only soul left awake in a world that's forgotten your name? Let me ask you something that might cut straight to your heart. What if your loneliness isn't random? What if it's not punishment? What if the very isolation that's been crushing your chest for months, maybe years, is actually heaven's way of clearing the room before something sacred walks through the door? Stop. Right there. Right now. I need you to hear what I'm about to say with every fiber of your being. If you're still lonely by November 21st, it's not because God abandoned you, it's because He's been preparing you. You feel like a lighthouse left on overnight, forgotten, still burning, still faithfully casting light into darkness with no ships in sight. But beloved, that's not abandonment, that's assignment. You weren't left alone, you were set apart. Listen carefully. There are 8 divine interventions, 8 supernatural miracles already in motion toward your life right now. Not next year, not someday. Right now, moving through the spiritual realm like freight trains on invisible tracks, headed straight for your address. And your loneliness? It's the final confirmation that you're standing exactly where heaven needs you when they arrive. You see, God doesn't crowd His most sacred moments. He clears the space. He removes the noise. He isolates His chosen ones not to break them, but to position them for encounters that would be impossible in the chaos of crowded lives. Before we go deeper into this mystery, before I reveal the exact 8 miracles that are about to collide with your reality, I want to pause and thank every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message already resonates with your soul, go ahead and sow that seed of faith right now. But listen to me. In the next 60 minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact 8 miracles that will touch your life before this year ends. And more importantly, I'm going to show you why your loneliness was never your enemy. It was your invitation, your preparation, your final test before promotion. If something in your spirit is already stirring, if these words are hitting places in your heart you thought were dead type, I'm listening in the comments right now. Let heaven see your agreement, because what's about to be revealed will change everything you thought you knew about your isolation. November 21st isn't just another date. It's your appointment with destiny. And loneliness. Loneliness was just heaven's way of getting you alone long enough to tell you the truth. Why have you been feeling more alone this November than any other month in your life? Why does the emptiness seem heavier now, deeper now, more suffocating now? And why does it feel like everyone else's prayers are being answered while yours echo back unanswered in the darkness? Listen to me carefully, chosen one. What I'm about to tell you will shatter everything you thought you knew about your isolation. You've been measuring your loneliness in human time, Chronos time, the relentless ticking of clocks that mock you every morning when you wake up alone, the calendar pages that flip forward while you feel stuck in the same empty room, the same silent kitchen, the same bed that's too big for one person. Chronos is the cruel accountant that whispers, "You're 73 and still alone. You're 81 and nobody calls. You're running out of time." But there's another kind of time operating in your life right now. And if you don't understand this, you'll miss the most important appointment heaven has scheduled for you in decades. It's called Kairos time. Kairos is the moment when eternity crashes into your everyday existence. It's when heaven looks at your timeline and says, "Now, this is the moment I've been preparing them for." Chronos measures duration, but Kairos measures destiny. Chronos counts your age, but Kairos activates your assignment. And beloved, you are standing in a Kairos moment right now. Think about Elijah. 1 Kings chapter 19. This mighty prophet had just called down fire from heaven, defeated 450 false prophets, and witnessed one of the greatest demonstrations of God's power in human history. But the very next chapter finds him alone under a broom tree in the wilderness, so depleted, so isolated, so broken that he begged God to let him die. "I have had enough, Lord, take my life." Does that sound familiar? Have you whispered those words into your pillow when the loneliness became unbearable? Have you sat in your living room at 2 in the afternoon, staring at 4 walls that know your face better than any human does, and wondered if God would mind if you just gave up? But here's what Elijah didn't know in that moment of crushing isolation. Here's what you don't know about your loneliness right now. God wasn't abandoning him under that tree. God was repositioning him. That wilderness moment wasn't his ending, it was heaven's launching pad. Because 40 days later, Elijah would stand on Mount Horeb and hear the still small voice of God give him his next assignment. An assignment so powerful it would anoint the next generation of prophets and kings. But he had to be alone to hear it. You see, dear one, God doesn't speak his most important words in crowded rooms. He doesn't reveal his deepest mysteries at family gatherings where everyone's talking over each other. He doesn't download divine strategy while you're distracted by phone calls and television noise and the chaos of a busy life. No, he clears the room first. Your loneliness isn't evidence that you've been forgotten. It's evidence that you're about to be spoken to. The isolation you've been cursing is actually a divine sound booth, acoustically designed, so you can hear what heaven has been trying to tell you for years. Loneliness is the spiritual equivalent of a phone ringing in another room. And you keep ignoring it because you think the silence means nobody's calling. But chosen one, somebody is calling. Heaven has been dialing your number. And your loneliness is the ring you've been misinterpreting as abandonment. But why now? Why November? And why specifically November 21st? Because Kairos moments don't happen randomly, they happen precisely. God doesn't operate on your calendar, he operates on his divine timeline. And November 21st isn't just another Thursday in late autumn. It's a prophetic marker, a spiritual coordinate where 8 specific miracles converge on your location at exactly the right moment. Think about it. November is the month of Thanksgiving in America. It's when families gather, when tables overflow, when homes fill with laughter and love and connection. But for you, November has been the loneliest month of all. While everyone else is posting pictures of grandchildren and crowded dining rooms, you're sitting alone, feeling the absence more acutely than ever. That contrast isn't cruel, it's strategic. God has been using your loneliness in November like a sculptor uses a chisel. Every Thanksgiving you've spent alone, every holiday season you've faced without companionship, every year-end that found you isolated instead of celebrated. It's all been carving away everything that would interfere with what's coming on November 21st. The Apostle Paul understood this mystery when he wrote in Galatians 4:4, "When the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son, not before, not after, when the fullness of time had come." When Kairos collided with Chronos, when heaven's moment intersected Earth's timeline, your fullness of time is November 21st. But here's what's going to shock you. Here's what the enemy has been desperately trying to hide from you while you've been drowning in loneliness. Your isolation hasn't been preparing you to receive companionship. It's been preparing you to receive revelation. God hasn't been making you wait for someone to fill your empty house. He's been making you wait so he could fill your empty spirit with something so profound, so powerful, so life-altering that you needed to be completely alone to contain it. Moses met God on a lonely mountain. David encountered God in a lonely cave. Jesus heard the Father's voice in a lonely wilderness. John received the revelation on a lonely island. Every major encounter with the divine in Scripture happened in isolation, not celebration. You weren't abandoned in your loneliness, beloved. You were appointed to it. And now, right now, that season of divine isolation is coming to its completion. The 8 miracles I'm about to reveal aren't coming because you've suffered enough. They're coming because you've been prepared enough. Your loneliness was never the problem. It was the process. November 21st is when that process reaches its purpose. But I need to know something before we go deeper. I need to know if your spirit is truly ready to receive what I'm about to reveal, because what comes next will require you to completely reimagine your loneliness, not as failure, but as activation, not as curse, but as calling, not as the end of your story, but as the beginning of your greatest chapter. Type, "I'm ready for clarity" in the comments right now if something inside you, something deeper than logic, something ancient and eternal is waking up. Let heaven see that you're finally ready to understand why you've been alone. Because, chosen one, your loneliness wasn't random, it was orchestrated. And the 8 miracles headed toward you right now, they require someone who's learned to hear God's voice in the silence. Someone exactly like you. You know what breaks my heart? It's watching someone who's carried the world on their shoulders for 70, 80, 90 years look in the mirror and whisper, "Did any of it matter?" Dear one, let me tell you something that's going to shatter every lie the enemy has whispered in your ear during those long, lonely nights. Every single moment of your life, every disappointment, every heartbreak, every season when you felt invisible, it wasn't wasted. It was woven. Your life has been a quilt, sewn with invisible threads of God's timing. You only see the front, the worn patches, the faded colors, the places where it looks like the fabric is coming apart. But heaven sees the pattern. And beloved, the pattern is magnificent. Think about the husband you buried, the one who knew how you took your coffee, who held your hand through 43 years of ordinary Tuesdays. You laid him in the ground and part of you died too, didn't it? You wake up every morning reaching for someone who isn't there anymore. The silence in your home isn't just quiet, it's deafening. But what if I told you that grief carved out a space in your heart so massive that only God Himself could fill it? What if losing him wasn't the end of your story? It was preparation for an encounter with the divine so intimate, so powerful, that you needed to be completely empty to receive it. Your adult children. Oh, how that cuts deep. You raised them. You sacrificed everything. You worked 2 jobs so they could have what you never had. And now, they're too busy. The phone calls get shorter. The visits get rarer. Thanksgiving feels like an obligation, not a celebration. You sit alone in that house filled with their childhood memories, wondering if they even remember what you gave up for them. But chosen one, what if God allowed that distance because He's about to position you as a spiritual parent to souls who have no one? What if your empty nest is about to become a sanctuary for the spiritually orphaned? The world looks at you and sees retirement age. They see someone whose productive years are behind them. You feel it, don't you? In the grocery store when younger people look right through you. At church when they ask the 40-year-olds to serve but never think to ask you. Even your own doctor talks about you like you're not in the room, discussing your limitations, your medications, your decline, as if you're already halfway to the grave. But God doesn't measure your worth by your age. He measures it by your surrender. Let me take you to the wilderness of Midian. There's an 80-year-old man named Moses, tending sheep that aren't even his. 80 years old. For 40 years, he thought he was somebody in Pharaoh's palace. For the next 40 years, he thought he was nobody in the desert. His resume read like a disaster murderer, fugitive, has been. If Moses had a LinkedIn profile, no one would have hired him to lead a book club, let alone deliver a nation. But then God shows up in a burning bush and says something that should make every senior saint in America stand up and shout, "Now you're ready." Not when Moses was 20 and full of energy. Not when he was 40 and full of ideas. At 80, when the world had written him off, God said, "This is your moment. Everything you've been through was preparation for what I'm about to do through you." If Moses wasn't too old at 80, neither are you. Every financial struggle you faced, that was God teaching you that your security doesn't come from a 401k. It comes from His provision. Every health battle you fought, that was God proving that His strength is perfected in your weakness. Every night you've lain awake worrying about bills, about medications, about whether your savings will last. That was God positioning you to become a living testimony that He still makes a way when there is no way. Your suffering wasn't random. It was sacred training. Think about it. Why has a 20-year-old never been asked to counsel someone through the death of a spouse? Because they haven't earned that authority. Why does no one seek wisdom from someone who's never lost anything? Because comfort without scars is just empty words. Your pain gave you credentials that no seminary degree could ever provide. But here's what I need you to hear, and this is urgent. Why have the last 3 months felt spiritually heavier than any season you can remember? Why does the loneliness feel more intense now than it did even a year ago? Why does November feel like it's pressing down on your chest with a weight you can't name? Because heaven is positioning you for miracle number 1. And that miracle requires you to be exactly where you are right now, alone, desperate, and completely dependent on God. The isolation you're feeling isn't punishment. It's final preparation. You see, God doesn't interrupt comfortable lives with miracles. He invades desperate ones. And your desperation? It's the doorway. Moses spent 40 years in silence before God spoke from that bush. 40 years of wondering if he'd missed his moment. 40 years of feeling forgotten. But the silence wasn't God's absence. It was God's preparation. And when the moment came, when the bush burned and the voice called his name, Moses was ready in ways he never could have been in his youth. The silence you've been sitting in is about to break. The waiting is about to end. The loneliness that's been crushing you is about to become the very platform from which God launches you into your greatest chapter. But I need to tell you something about this first miracle that's headed your way. Something that will explain why your loneliness had to reach this exact intensity before heaven could move. And what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about divine timing. You know what breaks my heart? It's not that you're alone, it's that you've become invisible. When was the last time someone looked you in the eyes and really saw you? Not just glanced past you in the grocery store aisle, not just nodded politely at church, but truly saw you, spoke your name with warmth, asked how you were doing, and actually waited for the answer. You felt it, haven't you? That slow, agonizing fade into the background of your own life. Your children call less. Your grandchildren are too busy with screens to hear your stories. The friends you thought would be there forever have drifted away, claimed by death or distance or the simple cruelty of time. And somewhere along the way, you stopped mattering in rooms where you used to be the center of attention. You became a ghost in your own story. Let me tell you something that's going to shake you. This invisibility you're experiencing, it's not permanent, it's positional. God hasn't forgotten you. He's been repositioning you. And the first miracle headed toward your life by November 21st is the miracle of being seen again. Listen to what Jesus said in Matthew 10:29-3:1. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Did you catch that? The God of the universe knows the exact number of hairs on your head. Every single one. even the ones you've lost. He sees you when the world has stopped looking. He counts you when society has stopped caring. He knows your name when everyone else has forgotten to say it. But here's what's about to happen, and I need you to pay close attention. Heaven is orchestrating divine reconnection in your life right now. Someone is about to reach out. A relationship you thought was dead is about to resurrect. A voice you haven't heard in years is about to speak your name again with such tenderness it will make you weep. Think about the woman with the issue of blood in Mark chapter 5. For 12 years, she was invisible, ceremonially unclean, untouchable. Nobody could look at her, speak to her, acknowledge her existence. She moved through crowds like a shadow, desperate and dying, convinced she would fade away completely unseen. But then she touched the hem of Jesus's garment. And what did Jesus do? He stopped. In the middle of a pressing crowd, with urgent matters demanding his attention, he stopped everything and said, "Who touched me?" He refused to let her remain invisible. He called her out. He made her visible again. He spoke healing over her body and dignity over her identity. Daughter. He called her daughter. When was the last time someone called you by a name that reminded you of your worth? When was the last time someone made you feel like you mattered? When was the last time someone stopped their busy life just to see you? That moment is coming. It's already in motion. Heaven is turning the spotlight back toward you. You've been backstage long enough. Here's what the miracle of being seen again looks like in practical terms. Your phone is about to ring with a call you stopped expecting. An old friend, a distant relative, someone from your past who you thought had erased you from their memory. They're going to say they've been thinking about you. They don't know why. They can't explain it. But something compelled them to reach out. That's not coincidence, beloved. That's divine intervention. That's God whispering your name into someone else's spirit and saying, "Call them now." Or maybe it's your adult child who's been too busy, too distracted, too wrapped up in their own chaos. Suddenly they're going to show up at your door, not with excuses, not with quick visits and one foot already out the door, but with time, with attention, with questions about your life that prove they finally see you again. The prophet Isaiah declared in chapter 49, verse 15 and 16, "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Engraved. Not written in pencil, not typed in a document that can be deleted. Engraved into the very palms of God's hands. You are permanently visible to Him. And now He's making you visible again to the people who matter. But I need to tell you why this matters beyond just ending your loneliness. This miracle isn't just about feeling better, it's about divine alignment. God is bringing people back into your life because you're about to need them for what's coming next. He's restoring relationships because your assignment requires witnesses. He's making you visible again because your story isn't over, it's about to reach its most powerful chapter. You thought you were fading into obscurity, but God was actually clearing the stage, removing the audience that wasn't worthy of your final act, preparing to bring in the people who need to see what He's about to do through you. If you're ready to be seen again, if something in your spirit is crying out for recognition, for connection, for someone to finally notice you're still here and you still matter, type, "Let it be me" in the comments right now. Let heaven see your hunger. Let the angels witness your willingness to step back into the light. Because this miracle isn't waiting for you to feel worthy. It's not waiting for you to get your life together. It's already moving, already in motion, already headed toward your address with your name written on it. But the question that will determine everything is this: when someone finally sees you again, will you let them? Or will you hide behind walls you've built to protect yourself from more disappointment? Because what's coming next isn't just about being seen, It's about being heard. And the second miracle is even more powerful than the first. You know what's been happening to you lately, don't you? Those tears that come out of nowhere. You're sitting at your kitchen table with your morning coffee, and suddenly your eyes are burning. You're watching television, some commercial you've seen 100 times, and your throat tightens. You're lying in bed at 2 a.m., and grief washes over you like a wave you didn't see coming. And you don't even know why. Your children think you're depressing. Your friends tell you to snap out of it. Even you wonder if maybe you're losing your mind. But let me tell you something that's going to shatter everything you've been told about those tears. What if those emotions aren't a breakdown? What if they're a breakthrough? Listen to me carefully, chosen one. That flood of feelings you can't control, the sudden nostalgia, the memories rising up like ghosts from decades past, the inexplicable sadness that sits on your chest like a stone that's not depression. That's detoxification. Your soul is purging poison. It's been storing for 70, 80, maybe 90 years. You've been carrying other people's pain your entire life. Your mother's disappointments, your father's failures, your spouse's unspoken regrets, your children's struggles. For decades, you absorbed it all like a sponge, soaking up everyone else's suffering because that's what you do. That's what chosen ones have always done. But there comes a moment, and November 21st is that moment for you when heaven says, enough. You cannot carry into your next season what belonged to someone else's past. The Bible tells us in Psalm 56:8, you keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. Did you catch that? God doesn't waste your tears. He collects them. He stores them. Every single one has been recorded, measured, and purposed for this exact moment of release. You think you're falling apart, but you're actually being emptied out. Think about this. When a storm cloud holds too much water, what happens? It gets heavy, dark, oppressive. It blocks out the Sunday. But when that cloud finally releases, when the rain pours down, everything changes. The air clears, the pressure drops, and suddenly the sun that was always there can finally break through. You are that storm cloud, beloved. And lately, you've been raining, hard, uncontrollably, at the strangest times, in the most unexpected ways. But that rain isn't your ending, it's your cleansing. Let me ask you something that might sting. How long have you been strong for everyone else? How many decades have you swallowed your own pain so others wouldn't have to see it? How many times have you smiled through heartbreak, laughed through loneliness, and kept going when everything in you wanted to collapse? You never gave yourself permission to feel. Until now. God is taking that permission out of your hands. He's not asking anymore. He's flooding your system with emotions you've been damming up for half a century because He knows. He knows that what you're about to step into requires a clean vessel. You cannot carry new wine in old wineskins. You cannot receive fresh miracles with a heart still clogged with ancient grief. This is why you've been crying more lately. This is why memories from 40 years ago suddenly feel like they happened yesterday. This is why you wake up at night with your pillow wet, and you can't even remember what you were dreaming about. Your soul is taking out the trash before the King arrives. But here's what breaks my heart. Some of you are fighting it. You're ashamed of your tears. You're embarrassed by your emotions. You're trying to stuff it all back down, to be strong again, to pull yourself together. And every time you do that, you're blocking the very miracle God is trying to perform. Ecclesiastes 3-4 says there is a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Not might be, not could be. There is a time. And beloved, this is your time to weep. Not forever, not permanently. But right now, in this season, your tears are doing a work that your willpower never could. Let me tell you what's really happening in the spiritual realm. Every tear you cry is washing away a layer of residue that's been coating your heart. Every emotion you release is breaking a chain that's been wrapped around your chest. Every memory that surfaces is being healed, redeemed, and transformed from a wound into wisdom. You thought you were breaking, but you were actually being freed. What you're experiencing isn't emotional instability. It's spiritual surgery. And just like any surgery, there's pain involved. There's blood, there's cutting, there's recovery. But when it's over, when the last tear falls and the final memory is healed, you're going to wake up feeling lighter than you have in decades. The pressure in your chest, that's leaving. The heaviness in your spirit, that's lifting. The sadness that's followed you like a shadow, that's dissolving. Because God is performing an emotional extraction, and what comes out of you now creates space for what He's about to put in. You are a storm cloud that needed to rain before the sun could rise. So stop apologizing for your tears. Stop hiding your emotions. Stop pretending you're fine when you're finally allowing yourself to not be fine. This release, this flood, this holy purging is miracle number 2. And it's preparing you for something so beautiful, so overwhelming, so completely transformative that your old emotional state couldn't have contained it. But here's what you need to understand. Emotional release is only the beginning, because the next miracle, miracle number 3, isn't just going to touch your heart. It's going to touch your body. The physical shell you've been living in for all these years is about to experience something that will leave your doctor speechless and your family asking what happened to you. What's coming next will prove that God doesn't just heal hearts. He rebuilds temples. Listen to me, chosen one. I know what you're feeling right now. I know about that ache in your lower back that won't go away no matter how many pills you take. I know about waking up at 5 a.m. because your body won't let you sleep past dawn anymore. I know about walking into a room and forgetting why you came. I know about looking in the mirror and seeing a stranger staring back, someone older, slower, more tired than the person you remember being just 5 years ago. And here's what breaks my heart. You've been told this is just aging. You've been told to accept it. You've been told your best days are behind you, that decline is natural, that you should be grateful you made it this far. But what if I told you that's the greatest lie the enemy has whispered in your ear? What if that exhaustion you're carrying isn't just age, it's spiritual resistance? What if your body isn't giving up, it's gearing up? What if heaven is about to do something so extraordinary in your life that your physical frame needed to be prepared, recalibrated, renewed for what's coming? Dear one, your body is not breaking down. Your body is breaking through. Look at Moses. Deuteronomy 34:7 tells us something that should stop you in your tracks. Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone. 120 years old. And scripture makes it clear his eyes weren't dim, his natural strength wasn't faded. Why? Because God wasn't finished with him yet. You think God's miracle working power expired when you hit 70, when you turned 80, when you celebrated your 90th birthday? Beloved, God doesn't operate on your doctor's timeline. He operates on destiny's schedule. But here's what you need to understand about this third miracle. The physical renewal that's coming isn't just about feeling better. It's about aligning your body with your calling. Because right now, your spirit is walking 10 steps ahead of your flesh. Your soul knows where you're going, but your body's been dragging behind, exhausted, confused, wondering why you can't keep up. That fog in your mind, that's not dementia creeping in. That's your spirit downloading so much divine information that your natural brain is struggling to process heavenly frequency. That pain in your joints, that's not just arthritis. That's old structures breaking down because God is rebuilding you for flexibility you haven't needed until now. You're like a classic car, beloved. Older, yes, weathered by time and miles. But right now, in this very moment, Heaven's mechanic is under your hood. He's not scrapping you for parts. He's tuning your engine for a long road ahead. He's replacing what's worn with what's eternal. He's preparing you, not for the junkyard, but for the journey. Isaiah 40:31 declares it with thunder. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Notice it doesn't say those who are young. It says those who hope in the Lord. Hope isn't an age. Hope is a posture. And right now, God is saying something over your life that you need to hear with every cell in your weary body. You're not done. I'm not done. And your body is about to catch up with what your spirit has been carrying. Can you feel it? That subtle shift happening even as you listen to these words. That strange warmth in your chest. That sudden clarity piercing through the fog. That's not your imagination. That's the third miracle beginning its work. But let me tell you why this renewal is happening right now, right before November 21st. It's because what God is about to release in your life requires a vessel that can handle it. You can't carry new wine in old wineskins. You can't download heaven's assignments into a body that's shut down. You can't walk through open doors if you can't get out of bed. So God is renewing you from the inside out. Not cosmetically, not superficially, but cellularly, spiritually, supernaturally. He's rewiring your nervous system for peace instead of panic. He's recalibrating your mind for clarity instead of confusion. He's restoring your strength not so you can merely survive, but so you can thrive in the assignment He's kept you alive to fulfill. Caleb understood this. At 85 years old, 85, he stood before Joshua and declared in Joshua 14:11, I am still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. I'm just as vigorous to go out to battle now as I was then. That's not denial. That's not delusion. That's a man whose body responded to his calling. Your body is responding to your calling right now. Can you feel it? That exhaustion you've been carrying. It's lifting. That fog, it's clearing. That pain, it's being touched by the same hand that made the blind see and the lame walk. Because the God who raised Christ from the dead is the same God who's breathing life into your mortal body right this second. Romans 8:11 seals it. And if the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies because of his spirit who lives in you. Your mortal body. Right now. Today. This moment. If you've been feeling tired but something in you refuses to give up, if exhaustion has been your enemy but hope keeps whispering not yet, type, I receive strength in the comments right now. Let heaven see that you're ready to receive what's already being released. Because this renewal isn't coming tomorrow. It's happening now. And your body knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. But this physical miracle is only the beginning. Because what God is preparing your body for the divine connection that's about to walk into your life, that's the fourth miracle. And when it arrives, you're going to need every ounce of this renewed strength to handle it. Now listen to me very carefully, chosen one, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shake loose every doubt you've been carrying about whether God sees your isolation. Miracle #4. The miracle of divine connections. You've been alone for so long that you forgot what it feels like when someone actually sees you. Not just looks at you, but truly sees you. When was the last time someone called just to check on you? When was the last time you sat across from another human being who cared whether you ate that day, whether you slept that night, whether your heart was breaking in silence? Here's what's about to happen, and I need you to feel the weight of this. God is sending someone, not just anyone, not some casual acquaintance who'll forget you by next Tuesday. He's dispatching a divine connection, someone whose arrival in your life has been orchestrated from the throne room of heaven itself. This isn't coincidence. This isn't luck. This is strategic spiritual intervention. Think about Ruth and Naomi. Ruth had every reason to walk away, every logical excuse to abandon the bitter old widow and return to her own people. But something deeper than reason pulled her forward. Ruth 1:16. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. That wasn't just loyalty, beloved. That was destiny recognizing destiny. That was a divine connection being forged in the furnace of mutual loss. Right now, there's someone out there carrying something you need, and you're carrying something they need. The enemy has been working overtime to keep you separated, isolated, convinced that you're meant to walk this final stretch alone. But November 21st is the expiration date on that lie. You're about to get a phone call you weren't expecting, a text message that makes your heart skip, an invitation that seems random but is actually orchestrated. Someone's about to walk back into your life, or someone new is about to walk in for the first time, and when they do, you'll know, you'll feel it in your spirit. This isn't just friendship. This is assignment meeting assignment. God doesn't send people to entertain you. He sends them to complete you. But here's what breaks my heart. Some of you are so used to disappointment that when this person shows up, you're going to test them, push them away, build walls before they can hurt you. Don't do that. When heaven sends reinforcement, receive it. When God answers your loneliness with flesh and blood presence, don't insult His provision by rejecting it. The isolation ends in November. Mark it. Believe it. Prepare your heart for it. Miracle #5. The miracle of provision. But let me tell you something that's going to sound impossible right now. While God's preparing that divine connection, He's also preparing your provision. And I'm not talking about just enough to get by. I'm talking about the kind of supernatural supply that makes you look at your bank account and whisper, "How?" You've been living on fumes for so long you forgot what it feels like to breathe freely. Every month it's the same terror. Will the check cover the rent? Can I afford the medication? Do I skip the doctor's appointment or the electric bill? You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul so long that both Peter and Paul have given up on you. But heaven is doing math with numbers you haven't seen yet. Listen to Philippians 4:19. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Not some of your needs, not the easy ones, all your needs. According to His riches, not your budget. His glory, not your limitations. Right now, as I'm speaking these words, there's money moving. Checks being written. Opportunities being aligned. Phone calls being scheduled. Relief on the horizon that you didn't pray for because you stopped believing it was possible. You know why you've been broke? Not because you're bad with money. Not because you made wrong choices. You've been broke because provision flows through purpose, and the enemy's been blocking your purpose to choke your provision. But when purpose activates, provision follows. Think about the widow of Zarephath in 1 Kings 17. She was down to her last meal, literally preparing to feed her son one final time before they both starved to death. And then Elijah shows up asking her to feed him first. The audacity! But she obeyed. And that flour jar never ran empty. That oil never dried up. Not during the entire famine. Your lack wasn't permanent. It was positional. You had to get to the place where God could trust you with abundance. Some of you are about to receive unexpected money. I'm talking about checks you forgot about. Refunds that don't make sense. People paying you back debts you'd written off years ago. Insurance settlements. Social security adjustments. Inheritance you didn't know was coming. Money from sources that will make you shake your head and say, "Only God." But it's not just money. It's relief. It's pressure lifting. It's breathing room. It's waking up one morning and realizing the weight on your chest is gone. November is not just another month. November is your financial reset. Heaven is doing math with numbers you haven't seen yet, and the equation is about to balance in your favor so dramatically that even your doubt will have to bow down and confess, God is real, and He sees me. But the next miracle, the sixth one, is the one the enemy fought hardest to stop. Because when this one activates, everything else accelerates. And hell knows it. Are you ready to discover what God's been hiding until this exact moment? You know what breaks my heart? It's watching a 70-year-old woman stand in her kitchen at dawn, staring at her hands, wondering if they still matter. It's seeing an 85-year-old man sit alone in his living room, surrounded by photographs of who he used to be, wondering if God is finished with him. Dear one, let me ask you something that might sting. When did you start believing the lie that your purpose has an expiration date? When did you accept the world's verdict that at 65, 70, 80 years old, you're supposed to fade quietly into the background? When did you buy into the deception that retirement from work means retirement from calling? Because I'm here to tell you something that will shatter that prison you've been living in. Your purpose didn't die. It was waiting for this season. Listen to me carefully. The world looks at your age and sees decline, but heaven looks at your years and sees depth. The culture whispers you're done, but the Almighty is thundering you're ready. Society says you're winding down, but God says you're about to be wound up for your greatest assignment. Think about Moses, 80 years old when God called him from a burning bush. 80, the world would have put him in assisted living. But God said, now you're prepared. Now you understand failure and humility. Now you know that it's not your strength that matters, it's mine. For 40 years, Moses led 2 million people through a wilderness. 40 years of his life spent doing what the world said was impossible at his age. Exodus 7:7 tells us plainly, Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. God didn't use their youth. He used their years. Or what about Anna the prophetess? Luke 2:36-37 describes her. She was very old. She had lived with her husband 7 years after her marriage, and then was a widow until she was 84. 84 years old, and she never left the temple. Day and night, fasting and praying. And when baby Jesus was brought to the temple, it was Anna, not the young priests, not the scholars. It was this elderly woman who recognized the Messiah and proclaimed redemption to all who were looking for it. Your age is not your limitation. Your age is your anointing. Every wrinkle on your face is a line of wisdom. Every gray hair is a crown of glory earned through battles fought and victories won. Every scar tells a story of survival that the younger generation needs to hear. You think you're irrelevant. You're carrying what they're desperately searching for, proof that God is faithful through decades of fire. But here's what November 21st is bringing to you specifically. The miracle of purpose returning. Not new purpose, your original purpose. The one you carried when you were young, but life got in the way. The dreams you buried under responsibility. The calling you silenced under the weight of just surviving. God is breathing on those dry bones right now. Ezekiel 37:5 declares, "This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. What you thought was dead is about to rise. What you mourned as lost is about to be found. What you accepted as finished is about to be activated. Because you see, beloved, you are an old tree. Your bark is weathered. Your branches may not reach as high as they once did. But your roots, your roots run deeper than any young sapling could dream. Your roots touch water sources the surface dwellers will never find." And November 21st is springtime in the spirit. New growth is coming from ancient roots. But there's more. There's a seventh miracle moving toward you that will shake everything you thought you knew about your later years. I'm talking about the miracle of spiritual awakening. Something is happening to you right now that you might not even have words for yet. You're sensing things you never sensed before. You're discerning spirits and situations with razor-sharp accuracy. You're having dreams that feel more real than reality. You're hearing God's voice with a clarity that makes you wonder why it was ever difficult before. This isn't your imagination. This isn't old age confusion. This is divine activation. Joel 2:28 promised it. And afterward, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Did you catch that? Your old men will dream dreams. Not used to dream, will dream. Present tense, active, alive. God is unlocking spiritual gifts in your later years that you never accessed in your youth. Why? Because now you have the wisdom to steward them. Now you have the character to carry them without pride destroying you. Now you have the desperation to use them for His glory instead of your own. You're becoming a seer, a prophet, an intercessor whose prayers carry the weight of decades of proven faithfulness. When you speak now, heaven leans in. When you pray now, demons flee. When you declare now, atmospheres shift. The younger generation has energy, but you have authority. They have passion, but you have power. They have dreams, but you have proven faith. This is why the enemy has been attacking you so viciously in your later years. He sees what's waking up inside you. He recognizes the threat you've become now, that your roots run deep and your connection to heaven is unshakable. But his time is up. November 21st marks the full activation of what God has been preparing in you through 7, 8, 9 decades of refinement. If this word is resonating in the deepest chambers of your heart, if you feel something ancient stirring, something powerful awakening type, my purpose is waking up right now. Let heaven witness your agreement. Because, chosen one, your greatest chapter isn't behind you, it's ahead of you. And it begins in 21 days. But there's an 8th miracle coming that will tie everything together, and it's the one that will leave you breathless with wonder at God's perfect timing. Chosen one, I need to tell you something that might explain why the last few months have felt so different. Why tears come easier now. Why a song on the radio can break your heart open. Why you catch yourself staring out the window, feeling things you don't have words for. Why the sight of an old couple holding hands in the grocery store makes your chest tighten with a longing so fierce it takes your breath away. You thought you were losing it, didn't you? You thought maybe it was just age, just loneliness making you weak, making you too emotional, too sensitive. Your children might have noticed and said, "Mom, are you okay?" Or, "Dad, you seem different lately." And you brushed it off because you didn't know how to explain what you couldn't understand yourself. But what if I told you that your loneliness wasn't weakness at all? What if it was something far more powerful, heightened spiritual sensitivity? Listen to me carefully. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. You see, there's something happening in the spiritual realm right now that most people can't perceive. But you can. You feel it in your bones, don't you? That strange electricity in the air. That sense that something massive is moving just beyond what your eyes can see. That knowing that settles in your gut at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet and the veil between heaven and earth grows thin. You're like an old radio that's being tuned again. For years, maybe decades, there's been static, just noise, interference, the chaos of raising families and building careers and surviving all the things life throws at us. But now, in this season of your life, in this sacred isolation, God is slowly turning the dial. The static is clearing, the signal is sharpening, and you're beginning to hear frequencies you haven't heard in years. Or maybe you're hearing them for the very first time. Do you remember young Samuel in the temple? 1 Samuel chapter 3 tells us he was sleeping when he heard a voice calling his name. "Samuel! Samuel!" He ran to Eli, thinking the old priest had called him. But Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." This happened 3 times before Eli finally understood what was happening. The boy was hearing the voice of God, and he didn't even recognize it. But here's what breaks my heart about that story. Samuel was young, yes, but it was Eli, the aged priest, the one whose eyes were growing dim, the one society would say was past his prime. It was Eli who had the wisdom to recognize what was happening. It was Eli who told Samuel, "Next time you hear that voice, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" Your age didn't dull your spiritual sensitivity, beloved. It sharpened it. Every year you've lived has been peeling back layers. Every loss you've endured has been thinning the veil. Every tear you've cried has been washing clean the windows of your soul. And now, right now, you're more spiritually sensitive than you've ever been in your entire life. This is why you can walk into a room and feel the heaviness before anyone speaks. This is why you know when someone's lying even when their words sound true. This is why you wake up in the middle of the night with someone's name on your heart and find out later they were in crisis at that exact moment. This is why you can't watch the news without feeling the weight of the world's pain pressing on your chest. You're not too sensitive. You're finally sensitive enough. The world calls it getting old and emotional. But heaven calls it being prepared for holy encounters. Think about it. Moses was 80 when he saw the burning bush. His eyes were old, but they could see what others couldn't, a bush that burned but wasn't consumed. Anna, the prophetess, was 84, spending day and night in the temple, and she was the one who recognized baby Jesus as the Messiah when everyone else just saw another baby. Simeon had been waiting his entire long life, and the Holy Spirit told him he wouldn't die until he'd seen the Lord's Christ. These weren't young prophets with sharp eyes and quick minds. These were aged saints with thin veils and heightened sensitivity. And you are them in this generation. But here's what you need to understand about this increased sensitivity, and this is crucial. It's not random. It's not just a side effect of loneliness or aging. It's preparation. God is tuning your frequency because something is about to happen that requires you to hear clearly, to feel deeply, to perceive what others will miss. There is a reason your emotions have been stronger lately. There's a reason you've been feeling everything more intensely. That's because miracle number 9 has already begun forming in the unseen realm, and your spirit is picking up the vibrations before your eyes can see the evidence. You're feeling the tremors before the earthquake. You're sensing the shift in the atmosphere before the storm breaks. You're hearing the sound of abundance before the rain begins to fall. Your heightened sensitivity isn't making you weaker, chosen one. It's making you ready. Ready for the 8 miracles I'm about to reveal. Ready for the divine appointments that are already on heaven's calendar with your name written in gold. Ready for the encounters that will require every ounce of spiritual perception you've been developing in this season of sacred isolation. If you've noticed your spirit becoming more sensitive lately, if you've felt things more deeply, cried more easily, sensed things more clearly, type "I feel it" in the comments right now. Because what you're feeling isn't breakdown, it's breakthrough trying to break through. But before we step into the revelation of these 8 miracles, I need you to understand something that will change everything about how you see what's coming next. Chosen one, what if I told you that right now, this very second, there's something headed toward your life that God never intended you to face? And what if I told you that heaven has already dispatched angels to intercept it before it reaches your door? Listen to me carefully. This 9th miracle isn't just about what God is bringing to you. It's about what He's keeping from you. You've been lonely, yes. Isolated, yes. But what if that loneliness saved your life? What if that empty chair at your dinner table protected you from a conversation that would have poisoned your peace? What if that friend who stopped calling was actually being removed before they could betray you at your most vulnerable moment? God is intercepting what was meant to harm you. Think about it. How many times in the last 6 months did something fall through that you were absolutely certain was your blessing? That relationship that suddenly went cold. That opportunity that evaporated overnight. That invitation that got mysteriously cancelled. You called it disappointment. Heaven called it interception. Because, beloved, you've been so focused on what you've lost that you haven't noticed what you've been spared. Let me take you to 2 Kings chapter 6. The king of Aram was at war with Israel, and every time he planned a secret attack, the prophet Elisha would warn the king of Israel exactly where the ambush would be. This happened so many times that the king of Aram thought he had a spy in his own camp. But his servants told him the truth in verse 12. Elisha, the prophet who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the very words you speak in your bedroom. Do you understand what this means? God was intercepting enemy plans before they could manifest. The attack was real. The danger was legitimate. But divine intelligence was moving faster than human malice. That's happening in your life right now. You thought you were forgotten because nobody's calling. But what if God silenced certain voices so you could finally hear His? You thought you were abandoned because doors kept closing. But what if those closed doors were angels standing guard, blocking pathways that led to destruction you couldn't see? I'm talking to the grandmother whose son stopped visiting. You've been crying about it for months. But what if God knows that right now, your son is in a season of darkness, and his presence in your home would have brought spiritual warfare you're not equipped to fight? What if your loneliness is actually a quarantine, not a punishment, but a protection? I'm talking to the grandfather whose investment fell through last year. You lost $30,000, and you've been bitter ever since. But what if that company is about to collapse into scandal? What if losing that money saved you from losing everything? Angels are standing at the intersection of the road you were never meant to take. Joseph understood this. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. His brothers sold him into slavery, and it looked like the worst betrayal imaginable. But decades later, Joseph looked at those same brothers and said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." The interception didn't feel like mercy at the time. It felt like abandonment. But God was repositioning Joseph away from a family that would have kept him small and toward a palace that would make him powerful. Your loneliness is your repositioning. But here's where it gets urgent. Here's where you need to pay attention with every ounce of faith you have left. Divine interception only works when you trust the process. The children of Israel had to trust that the Red Sea wasn't drowning them. It was protecting them from Pharaoh's army. Daniel had to trust that the lion's den wasn't his grave. It was his testimony. And you have to trust that this season of isolation isn't your punishment, it's your preservation. Right now, there are things coming toward your life. Some are blessings. Some are weapons disguised as blessings. And God, in His infinite wisdom, is sorting them at the gate. He's intercepting the poison before it reaches your cup. He's stopping the Trojan horse before it enters your city. He's rerouting the relationship that would have wrecked you, the business deal that would have bankrupted you, the medical procedure that would have harmed you. You've been praying for open doors, but sometimes the greatest miracle is a door that stays closed. I need you to hear this. That health scare you had 3 years ago that turned out to be nothing, that was interception. That test came back negative, not because you got lucky, but because God stepped between you and a diagnosis the enemy had planned. That financial crisis that somehow resolved itself at the last minute, that was interception. Heaven moved resources you never saw to cover a debt you couldn't pay. And that loneliness you're feeling right now, that crushing, suffocating isolation that makes you wonder if anyone cares whether you wake up tomorrow, that's not abandonment. That's God clearing your atmosphere of everything that would contaminate what He's about to release, because something is coming toward you, or rather, someone. And by the end of this message, you will know exactly who it is. But first, you need to make a declaration. You need to give heaven permission to intercept on your behalf. Right now, if you feel this word burning in your chest, if you sense that God has been protecting you from things you never even knew were threatening you, type these 4 words in the comments. Intercept me, Lord. Because the miracle isn't just what's coming. The miracle is what's being stopped. And you're about to discover that the greatest blessing isn't always what you receive, it's what you're rescued from. You know what breaks my heart? It's not just that you're lonely. It's that you've started believing the lie that your loneliness means you don't matter anymore. Let me ask you something that might sting. When was the last time your children called? Not because they needed something, not because it was a holiday, but just because they wanted to hear your voice. When was the last time someone at church asked how you're really doing and actually waited for an answer? When was the last time you felt like your presence in a room made any difference at all? You've been sitting in that house. The same house where you raised your family. The same walls that used to echo with laughter and chaos and life. But now it's just you and the silence. You and the memories. You and the crushing weight of wondering if this is all that's left. Maybe you're staring at that empty chair where your spouse used to sit. Maybe you're looking at your phone, waiting for it to ring, knowing it won't. Maybe you woke up this morning and thought to yourself, what's the point? Does anyone even notice I'm still here? I need you to hear me right now. That feeling, that invisible, forgotten, cast-aside feeling that sits on your chest like a stone, that's not the end of your story. That's the setup for your miracle. Let me tell you what's really happening to you. You think you've been forgotten, but you've been positioned. You think you've been abandoned, but you've been appointed. You think God has gone silent, but He's been whispering something so sacred that He needed you alone to hear it. Listen to what Jesus said in Matthew 6:6. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Did you catch that? God sees what is done in secret. He sees you in that empty house. He sees you in those quiet nights. He sees you when everyone else has looked away. You're not forgotten. You're being held like a seed in winter soil. Think about that for a moment. When a farmer plants a seed in November, what does it look like from the outside? Dead, buried, forgotten, covered in cold, dark earth with no signs of life. But what's happening beneath the surface? Everything. Roots are forming, strength is building. Life is preparing to explode through the ground when spring comes. That's you right now. You look around at your life and you see winter. You see death. You see ending. But God sees preparation. He sees roots growing deeper than they've ever been. He sees strength being forged in the darkness. He sees spring coming. Job understood this. For chapters and chapters, this righteous man sat in complete isolation. His friends abandoned him. His wife told him to curse God and die. His children were gone. His wealth was destroyed. His health was shattered. And through it all he cried out, "Why, God? Where are you?" But look at Job 42:12. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. The latter part, not the beginning, not the middle, the end. The season that looked like total loss became the season of greatest blessing. Your loneliness is the hallway between two miracles. You're standing in the narrow space between what was and what's coming. And I know, hallways are uncomfortable. I know they're cold and they're empty and you can't see what's on the other side of the door. But hallways aren't meant to be lived in. They're meant to be walked through. Right now, you're wondering if God even remembers you exist. You're questioning if all those years of faithfulness meant anything. You're looking at your age and thinking it's too late for new beginnings. You're feeling the weight of invisibility pressing down on you until you can barely breathe. But what if I told you that your isolation wasn't random? What if every person who walked away, every door that closed, every moment of silence was God strategically removing everything that would distract you from what He's about to do? The enemy has been lying to you. He's been whispering that your loneliness is proof of your worthlessness, that your age means your usefulness is over, that your empty house means your purpose died. But those are lies straight from the pit of hell. Your loneliness is the evidence that something so powerful is coming that God had to clear everyone else out of the way, because what He's about to release into your life would be missed, misunderstood, or stolen if you weren't completely focused. Your isolation isn't abandonment. It's preparation for divine visitation. Elijah knew this. After defeating 450 prophets of Baal, after calling down fire from heaven, after the greatest victory of his ministry, where did God send him? To a cave, alone, isolated, questioning everything. And it was there, in that cave of loneliness, that God spoke to him in a still, small voice and gave him his next assignment. Your cave is about to become your launching pad. If this is piercing your heart right now, if something in your spirit is breaking open, type "I trust you, Lord" in the comments. Let heaven see that you're ready to believe again. Because what happens next is the reason the enemy fought so hard to isolate you. He saw what was coming, and he's terrified of what you're about to become. Beloved, before we close, let me leave a few things burning in your heart. First, your loneliness is not a verdict. It's a signal. It is not proof that God has walked away. It is proof that heaven has cleared the room for something sacred. If you remember nothing else, remember this. You were not left alone. You were set apart. November 21 is not just another day. It is a Kairos moment on your timeline, and there are miracles already in motion toward you, even if your eyes can't see them yet. Second, you are not alone in this. Not for 1 second. God has not retired from your story. He is still arranging phone calls, opening and closing doors, stirring your emotions, renewing your body, reconnecting you with people, and waking up your purpose in this later chapter of life. And beyond that, there is a whole family of believers right here, listening with you, who are ready to stand in the gap and pray for you. So let me ask you a question to carry into tonight. When you look back on this season 5 years from now, will you remember it as the time you gave up, or the time you finally believed that God was not finished with you? Let's pray together. If you can, put your hand on your heart as if my hand were resting gently on your shoulder. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, I lift up this precious soul before you. You see every long night, every empty chair at the table, every silent phone, every tear that never made it out of their eyes. You know the weight on their chest and the questions in their mind. Right now, Lord, I ask you to breathe peace into their heart. Let your presence wrap around them like a warm blanket on a cold night. Where there has been loneliness, bring holy companionship. Where there has been shame, pour honor. Where there has been heaviness, release a deep, supernatural joy. Open doors they cannot open on their own. Send divine connections that see them, hear them, and value them. Touch their body with renewed strength. Touch their mind with clarity. Touch their spirit with fresh fire. Remind them tonight that they are not forgotten, not too old, not too late. Write into their spirit, I am with you, I go before you. I will finish what I started in you. I bless their home, their health, their finances, their children and grandchildren. Let angels stand watch at their door. Let your goodness and mercy follow them all the days of their life. And let them sleep tonight in a peace that only you can give. In Jesus' strong and gentle name I pray. Amen. Now, Don't walk away quietly. If this touched you, write one sentence in the comments, maybe, "I'm ready," or "I don't want to feel alone anymore." Let us know how we can pray for you. And if you have questions or you're still wrestling, ask them. We're a community, and we read what you write. Please share this video with someone who's lonely, someone who needs to hear that God still sees them. You might be the reason they don't give up. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so we can keep walking this journey together. God bless you, beloved. You are seen. You are held. You are never, ever alone.